Ruth, Trump was impeached the first time for his attempt to pressure Ukrainian President Zelensky to dig up dirt on the Bidens in exchange for U.S. military aid. I wonder what you make of what you could call a full circle moment here as House Republicans are now using the impeachment process to continue Trump's bidding.
Yeah, this is what I call the upside down world of authoritarianism, where you accuse the enemy of what you yourself had done. But this impeachment talk is also what I call garbage politics, which is designed to distract from the Republicans' own corruption, of course. Also create smear. It's a smear tactic of the information warfare used by the Kremlin to create negative associations about Biden in the minds of voters, and in general create a sense of crisis and chaos. And the end game is to show that democracy doesn't work, that Biden is incompetent, and we need a kind of strong man to come in and, make the trains run on time.
Garbage politics would be very funny if it were not so consequential. Andrew, in a new column for the Washington Post, you have GOP Congressman Ken Buck writing, quote, Republicans in the House who are itching for an impeachment are relying on an imagined history. The evidence is not there. They got Speaker McCarthy deciding to launch an impeachment inquiry anyway. Tell me where this is all heading.
Right. I had a Republican senator tell me this past week that you can't really put the toothpaste back in the tube when it comes to starting an impeachment inquiry, because this senator did not see any universe in which Kevin McCarthy, James Comer, and Jim Jordan would say after this inquiry, OK, Biden's all clean. We don't need to move forward with impeachment. So they are going to impeach Joe Biden. And the question is, for them politically, how does this play? And Republicans are obviously trying to keep the House majority in 2024. The conventional wisdom with McCarthy doing this was that it would help him politically. It would help him with the Freedom Caucus, but it could end up losing Republicans the majority, because if you think of all of those Republicans who come from districts that President Biden won in 2020 and in 2022 as well, those are people who are not going to want to take this type of vote. And it's exactly why Kevin McCarthy declared by edict that he is going to launch this impeachment inquiry instead of putting it on the floor as a vote to officially open one.
Well, Eugene, let's follow what Andrew just said there about the fact that the question here is, of course, politically what this is going to mean for Republicans, which I say not to gamify this in any way, but rather to say if democracy and the integrity of democracy is on the line, political consequence is one of the only forms of accountability that might actually get them to reconsider their path forward. You have a YouGov poll finding 41% of voters think this is all a ploy to embarrass President Biden. Just 28% think this is a serious attempt to find out what really happened. And you recently heard from swing voters in Pennsylvania. What is it that they make of all this?
Well, these individuals are very aware that this motivation of Kevin McCarthy's is rooted in being retaliatory towards Democrats for impeaching Donald Trump. They've made clear that they have not seen anything coming from the GOP proving that Biden needs to be removed from office. They believe that Kevin McCarthy is trying to get favor not just with the Freedom Caucus, but with Donald Trump, who's made it very clear that he wants to see his party get back at Democrats for what he believes they did to him. For his actions that he doesn't own up to or think were justified, were, should I say, inappropriate or and worthy of being impeached. This is going to be a real concern, obviously, to many of these voters who are looking to the GOP to actually make a strong case towards them for why they should swing back towards Trump from Biden. And they said so far they haven't heard anything yet.